Instakiss. We're on KissCam on Instagram. We're on InstaKiss on Instagram.
Welcome to the 30-Minute Hour. It's the personal development podcast for authors, entrepreneurs, and career professionals who are looking to level up and become unstoppable. I'm your host, Eric Twiggs, your procrastination prevention partner. Joining me as always, you know him as the super CEO, the business strategist extraordinaire, and all-around good guy, Ted Fells.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Seems like it's been forever since we've done this.
Man, we took a break last week.
Yeah. That's something we don't normally do.
I didn't know what to do with myself with a break. I'm used to, you sending me a link and us, talking to some good people. I didn't have anything to do.
So Ted, I thought I'd make up for it, and we do like 7 podcasts this week to kind of get us back in the groove, back in the rhythm.
I didn't ask for all that. Yeah. But it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Absolutely. Well, as you can tell, this is not your everyday podcast.
No.
And I didn't even warn Hank and Sharyn while we were backstage, but they're going to find out here in a little bit. This is not your everyday podcast. We do things a little differently here on the 30-Minute Hour. But you can watch us live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram. You can watch me right now on IGTV. Shout out to those of you watching right now. And then you can also go back and listen to the replay on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and any of those places where you like to listen to your podcasts. Ted, this would be a good time for us to talk about the sponsor of the week. The sponsor of the week, and it is Vision and Purpose Magazine.
Ted, now's when you're supposed to pick it up.
Hey, I was hoping he would get the hint.
You practiced before.
Right, there you go. Vision and Purpose Magazine. They're the sponsor of the week. You may recognize the people on the cover. That's myself, Ted Fells, and Dr. Sharyn H. Porter. And we're the founders of the What Now movement. So we're featured on the cover of Vision and Purpose Magazine for this latest edition. But definitely make sure you subscribe to that magazine. It's for the entrepreneur, for the career professional that's looking to clarify their vision and really get some additional inspiration to move forward and take their business to that next level. Vision and Purpose Magazine. The founder of the magazine is Dr. Sharyn H. Porter and Karen McConnell Jones. So shout out to them, but definitely make sure you go to, and we'll put the link in the notes. And is spelled out pmagazine.com. Make sure you get your edition. Ted, what were you about to say?
One thing we want to share is that they were a guest.
Yes.
They were
absolutely. Yes, they were previous guests on the 30-Minute Hour podcast and shared some excellent things about the importance of clarifying your vision. We'll even put that episode in the show notes as well, so you can go back and listen. But we do plan to have them on another special episode to talk about the latest things. And they've got a building for their enterprise. They've got like a whole media setup. We're going to show you the video of everything they've got going on. I mean, it's truly impressive. Shout out to them, and shout out to them for all the inspirational content that they're putting out in the world. So I think that's where if you look at the state of the world right now with viruses and everything else, I mean, we need some. It helps to have that inspirational message to see what's possible.
And look, you could be on the cover, Like that's what's possible. Like we're on the cover.
Exactly.
This is my first time
I don't
being
know
on
if
the cover
I don't
of
know
the
if I'd look as
magazine.
good though. That bow tie, I can't rock a bow tie, and you look damn good there.
Well, thank you.
Can you
Thank you
put
very
that a little
much.
closer to the camera? Let me check that out. Yeah, he's more handsome than I am with that tie on. That's cool. That's awesome.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Ted is definitely rocking the bow tie. But now, definitely, like I said, we'll put the link in the notes. Make sure you subscribe to the magazine. They've got the hardcover traditional that you can have show up at your house. You can get the digital version, whatever your pleasure is. But make sure that you subscribe, and it'll definitely help to inspire you. And don't forget about the What Now movement. I mean, that's one of the things that we talk about in this edition of the magazine, but definitely we put the What Now movement together to inspire people to pivot. And instead of saying, oh, I'm just going to wait until things get back to normal, the question is, what now? Like, what can you do now? What pivots can you make? What steps can you take in the direction of your ultimate goals and dreams? So make sure you go to the Facebook page and go to the What Now movement group and click that you want to join. And I promise I'll let you in. All right. Speaking of which, it's Marketing Monday in the group. So definitely when you get in there, you can drop your link, the link to your business, the link to your book. And we'll definitely make sure we like and share and all that good stuff. Shout out to Ben McGee, who's watching this and commenting. And shout out to Dr. Rudy Jackson, who's a previous guest, talking about those scholarships. We appreciate your presence. Thank you for joining us. Ted?
Yes, sir.
I've got something that's on my mind.
So I know we've had a week off, so I know you got something really good on your mind today.
I do. I do. I've got something. I've been waiting all week, Ted, to get this off my chest, and now I get this opportunity.
All right, please share.
All right. Speaking of share, don't forget to share the show.
Share the show.
That's right. Make sure you share the show. Don't keep us a secret. Hank and Sharyn are going to share some vital information. But definitely, I've got something I want to share with you right now. And I just want to pose a question to you. Does your marketing plan suck? I've been waiting all week. Does your marketing
I saw how you were promoting this. I did read that.
Does your marketing plan suck? That's the question I want to pose to you. And it reminds me of a story. So there's a story. There's this retired dentist. His name is Jack. He was looking to start a second career. He'd spent over 40 years as a successful dental practice owner. He was able to sell his business and ride off into the sunset, but he wanted to teach others the secrets to his success and how he was able to achieve what he achieved at his practice. So he began his new career as a marketing consultant for dentists in his area. And his business model, it was unique. Let's just say that. Because he didn't teach clients how to sell and market to new customers. He didn't teach clients how to sell and market to walk-in existing customers. He didn't teach them how to do anything. It was a unique thing he had going there. So here's what he would do. He would visit these dental practices and offer to follow up with all of their inactive customers for them. That was his big. He said, look, I'm going to follow up with your inactive customers, but here's the twist. If the inactive customer comes in because of me, I get 5% of the sales as a commission. Right? Sounds like if you just listen to that, Ted, it sounds like Jack is getting the short end of the stick, right? Sounds like he's getting a raw deal. Why would somebody sign up for that? Right?
Right.
Wrong. So get this. So the area dentists, they were so bad at following up with their inactive customers that Jack actually made more money making the follow-up calls than he did back when he was a full-time dentist.
Wow.
And he wasn't getting bid anymore.
Exactly. That was another bonus. But here's the big takeaway. And if you grasp this, you can have a good chance of having a marketing plan that doesn't suck. So here's the big takeaway. This is the part of the show where we just need your undivided attention. I know we have a lot of people, they listen to us while they're driving. This is the time where you need to pull over to the side of the road. That's right. Quite a few people, you listen to us while you're in the gym, when you're on the treadmill. You need to press pause on the treadmill right about now. That's right. Ted, anything else that people need to do?
Sharyn and Hank, this is the time you put the ham sandwich down.
Right?
No matter how good the sandwich is, you got to put it down because it's about to get good.
That's right.
But I love
Put the ham sandwich down. Here's the big takeaway.
The
mustard, the ketchup, the mayo, whatever you like in your ham sandwich.
Put it down.
Put it to the side.
Wait a minute. You put ketchup on ham?
We need your undivided attention.
That wouldn't happen.
See, not your everyday podcast.
Are a ketchup delivery system, not ham.
There you go. All right.
Put the sandwich down, Hank. Put the sandwich down.
But here's the big takeaway. Here's what everybody needs to remember. The fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up.
True.
And there's all kinds of studies that support what I just said. But I'll just talk about one in particular that everybody's familiar with, that the average customer needs to be touched, as they say, with marketing between 7 to 9 times before they decide to make a purchase.
Wow.
So if your marketing plan doesn't involve some of these touch points, your plan will suck. And we want to help you to not have a marketing plan that sucks. And I have 2 guests today that can help us with that. 2 guests. Not normally we have 1, but this week we've got 2.
Double the fun.
It's that
Double
important.
the fun. Yeah, we have Hank and Sharyn, and they bring a very unique perspective to clients who wish to have their marketing efforts reach new focus. Hank is a targeted marketing tactician with a background in advertising and public relations, who has helped small businesses get bigger for over 35 years.
Wow.
Sharyn's path went through the business affairs and human resources departments and has become an online marketing expert. Their company, Yuloff Creative Marketing Solutions, offers complete, traditional, and technological marketing plans for small companies who never thought they could afford a chief marketing officer. Please join me in welcoming to the 30-Minute Hour podcast, Hank and Sharyn Yuloff.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome. It is truly an honor to have you on the show. And I know our
Well, we're not done yet. So let's hold off on that part.
They're still early, right?
It's as of right now,
Okay, got it.
So far, it's an honor. All right.
Okay. Maybe we should stop while we're ahead.
Now, so welcome to the show. Let's jump right into this. So how did you and Sharyn meet? Hank, we'll start with you.
How'd we meet? Your typical thing. I got out of a relationship, and my mom, listening to my mom, she said, you ought to go to Temple, meet a nice Jewish girl. So I said, okay, I've never done that before, Mom, but I'll try it. So I went to Temple. Second or third Friday, at the end, I went up to the cantor and I said, who is the hot chick in the third row with the great ass? And Sharyn took me over She introduced me to Sharyn, and that was 33 years ago. Last week.
Wow,
So
congratulations. That's
now
great.
we can agree on that. Just don't ask us what our first date was, because
That we don't agree on.
we do not agree.
You don't agree.
No. And we don't have, and you only have a 30-minute hour, so we really can't get into that one, but because things get thrown, stuff happens.
Interesting. So, Sharon, anything you wanted to add on the story of how you met?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is something she wants to add.
It's Hank's favorite part of the story. I was kind of sort of seeing somebody else, and Hank was a different kind of a person than I'd ever dated, and I figured if there was ever going to be a chance for us to have a relationship, for us to go anywhere, I had to break it off with the other guy, because I can't do multiple people at once. It's too confusing.
And you did that.
So I called the guy that I was seeing and said, I can't see you anymore. And that was the night we met.
There we go.
All right.
That's called having game.
Wait. You said that was the night you met
The night we
Hank? You just got on the phone and said, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, about this relationship thing, it's over.
Correct.
Wow. Gangster.
Game.
Boy.
He calls it having game, Ted. That's
Right.
all right. Awesome.
I called my mom and said, Mom, it worked.
That's too funny. Good stuff.
So what was it that inspired you to decide to go into business together as a couple?
One of the nice things about working together is that his strengths are not mine and vice versa. So we have a nice balance. He started the company, and I didn't think I knew anything about marketing. I thought I, knew about office like bond management. But I had a work-related injury, and I was home in between physical therapy appointments and got to eavesdrop on his conversations and realized those were the same conversations I was having in my HR office, because I was only working for small businesses, and realized that in that environment, HR is really just internal marketing. I was teaching my colleagues how to market their idea to their supervisor or their colleagues, and vice versa, right? Sometimes the owners would come to me and say, we have an idea, but we want buy-in from the employee. How do we message that to them? It was really just marketing.
And
that's very interesting.
Timing wise, it just worked out.
Yeah.
I kept begging her to come work with me.
Yeah, that's all right.
Wow. I've never heard it explained that way. HR as internal marketing. Can you go a little deeper on that?
Sure. Well, like I said, it's really just messaging, right? HR, unless I'm putting an ad, right? An ad is external, that's different. And if I'm working for a big company, then it's a little more. But for a small business, it's all about marketing your idea, messaging it in a way that your colleague, your immediate supervisor has buy-in to what your idea is.
Look at it this way. One of the biggest challenges that a lot of our clients have is the cost of replacing and then training new employees. So if you're marketing to your employees the right way, if you're bringing them in on decisions, you don't end up with that cost or that expense.
I think that's a great way to look at it. And so what advice do you have, just based off of your experiences? And I know we've got followers who are married that are thinking about going into business together. So based off of your experiences, what advice do you have for them?
Everyone is different.
Here, let me try this.
Okay, go ahead.
Read our new book, Partners in Everything. Your couple's guide to running a successful business without ruining your life. You know what? We didn't have a corner the market on doing it together. So chat with a bunch of people that are in business together and find out what works for them. We interviewed a whole lot of other couples, and we did find there are things that we have rules that others don't.
Others have rules we don't.
Yeah. We could be brushing our teeth and all of a sudden, hey, did you post that thing? And some couples have a rule, once you're in the bedroom, there's no business talk. So understand that for us, the biggest rule was that the relationship comes first.
Interesting. The relationship comes first. So, did you talk to anybody? I know couples that they'll do like a certain sign on the road, and when they pass that sign, that's when they can't talk about the business anymore.
No,
Yeah.
we have no.
No.
Those rules are really if a couple disagrees, right? So if one couple needs a threshold rule, for example, and the other one doesn't, then you go with the rule. Since we agree, we didn't need that threshold rule. If one of us was, well, no, when we get to the bedroom, I don't want to talk about business, then we would need a rule, but we don't. It's a non-issue.
So has there ever been a time that that you all were having an argument, and then it kind of impacted business? Because you all seem like you just get along so well, but come on, Hank and Sharyn. Come on.
It isn't that we don't have disagreements. But once I realized that Sharon's right, we're able to just move ahead. One of the things are either of you married?
Yes.
Okay. So Eric, go with me here. You in order to have a successful marriage, it's happy wife, happy life, correct?
That is
so
true.
The other part is you have to be able to say the following phrase
with sincerity.
I'm sorry, babe. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course you're right. And as long as you can nail that,
you're good.
It's all good.
Wow. So that's whether it's business or not business.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay, well that's how it works. Okay.
Look, I married up.
Yeah.
God presented to me perfection, and I just realized so why blow it?
All right. Well, there you go.
Awesome. Okay.
You weren't expecting that answer, were you?
It works.
Now, and I'm glad we're talking about this, just because that's a common question that comes up. And a lot of issues, there's a lot of people that have issues around, the balance between being married and having successful business.
We work with a lot of clients, and we used to say, that are couples, and we used to say, we're not couples counselors, but it inevitably slips into our coaching calls.
Sure.
Would you tell him?
No,
you tell him.
Okay. So then let's talk about Yuloff Creative Marketing Solutions. Okay. So why did you decide to start this and really focus on helping small business owners with marketing?
It started that way. It goes back to when I was in college. I worked for my college newspaper selling advertising, and then I was the ad manager, and I realized even at 20 that there were these people that invested their life savings in a business, and they're coming to a 20-year-old saying, how do I get more business? And I found I was pretty good at it. And, it's one of those one thing led to another. I worked for a couple of large companies as a sales manager. And then something, stuff happens. And I again got to share a story with my mom that our company had hired, the owner of the company had hired his son as the national sales manager. His son who had been with the company for about a month and a half and had no sales background. And her question was, well, what would it take for you to start your own company? So it really started out of Thanksgiving conversation around the table. What are you thankful for? And I told my mom, almost facetiously, I'd need to buy a new fax machine because this one's owned by the company. She looked at my dad and said, write him a check. So mom wasn't playing, and that's how it started.
Wow.
And all of my clients said, what took you so long? I said, well, why didn't you tell me to start my own business? I said, you clearly weren't ready until now. So the lesson there is when you're ready, your mentors and your advisory group will come forward.
And so it sounds like one of the signals for you was that people kept coming to you with marketing questions and
Yeah, I have degrees in advertising, PR, and economics, and it was always the yes, you're buying whatever tactic I was selling, direct mail or whatever the tactic was, but the benefit was, when you buy from me, you're also getting my marketing mind, and the company was started with that in mind. It was going to turn into a coaching business.
awesome. So describe your ideal client, your typical client, and specifically how do you help them?
You want to take a shot at that?
Sure. We have many, but some of the commonalities are they're all small business owners. We only work with small businesses. We are not I work with small and medium sized, no, small business owners. And what that means to us is a solopreneur up to 40 or 50 employees. That's where my HR limitation is because I've always worked for small businesses. Most of our clients are a solopreneur to 10 employees. Most of them are in that 40 to 50-ish years old, kind of looking down the road of their career thinking, well, I guess I'm supposed to be thinking about retiring at some point, but that doesn't really feel like the right answer. And yet all of this online stuff is a bit confusing. And I don't really know where to start. And so we help them with that. We also do offline stuff, but they don't often come to us with that in mind, even though that might be a challenge for them as well.
We've noticed that all of our clients are really good at what they do. They were just never taught how to market what they do.
Yeah. So what are some of the common mistakes and missteps that you see from small businesses?
You brought it up a little earlier, and one of them is they don't follow up. We do an entire webinar on follow-up. And by the way, if you're watching, if you go to yourmarketingadvisor.com, you can find that one. But they will say, I went to a networking event, or I sent out an email to what I think is my list, or I posted once on Instagram.
I joined a chamber, but I never got any business. Well, did you go to any of the meetings?
And the common thing there is there's no consistency. They're not willing to be consistent in what they're doing, because rarely does a tactic work the first time. And we're not saying keep advertising just cause, but you've got to be consistent in what you're doing if you want to see it work.
I think you make that's definitely a great point right there. Is consistency in any of it, right? It's almost like when people go to the gym, a couple days and they're like, I don't see, I'm not losing any weight. I don't see the muscles form. Wait, you've been like 3 days, right? So no,
over 3 weeks.
You haven't even had leg day yet.
Right. And look, and just because you go to the gym doesn't mean you're doing the right stuff. You could just be walking around in a great outfit.
Got the towel.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Consistency is key.
Yes.
And isn't that the case? That's the case with most everything. You want to get good at what you're doing. You want to be a great lawyer in the courtroom. Well, go into court. You want to be a great dentist. You better look at a whole lot of mouths. You want to be good in construction. You probably ought to hit a hammer a few times, hit a nail a few times. It's the same for everything that all of us do.
That's so true. When you hear about a lot of the great athletes, right, Eric, and they talk about after practice how many hundreds and upon hundreds of shots they take just after hours.
Kobe Bryant used to drive his coaches nuts. Hey, meet me. I went to this high school game yesterday. I saw what this kid was doing. I don't have that move. Let's go practice. Well, how long do you practice? Until it's like, until what? Until I can do it. So you've got one of the 5 best players ever saying, I need to get this down. And it's the same for all of those guys and ladies.
And all the business owners as well, right? You gotta keep doing it until.
We're pretty decent on stage, but man, I had to watch a whole lot of people present in order to get really good at it.
And actually go on stage and present.
Yeah.
You can't watch a tennis player and then wonder why you can't play
No.
tennis. So
Right.
watching is great. It is a step in the right direction, but you actually got to get there and actually go do it.
But I watch the Masters every year. Can't I go to Augusta and,
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, no, they're not going to let me on that course.
So I'm learning some good things here. So if I actually want to get good at tennis, I have to play.
Yes,
In
sir.
what business? I have to actually go to
Yeah.
the chamber meeting. I can't
Yes.
just fill out the form.
And then you have to talk to people.
You gotta talk.
Man.
And follow up with those people that you talk to.
You have to touch them at least, what was that? 7 to 12 times. You have to touch. Now, be careful about HR rules.
That's what I was about to say.
Touch is the elbow,
Yeah.
by the way.
That's what I was about to say. I was going to say that's the Yuloff Creative. That is not 30-minute hours saying go around touching people 7 times.
No, that's just, yeah.
But you think about it. So the customer is getting bombarded with all kinds of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the internet, so the Facebook, the TV.
Yeah.
So if you're not making the touches, you're not putting a dent in their mind.
We do a marketing boot camp a couple of times a year, and we have a slide up there that shows all of the different stuff that's going on the internet in any one particular minute. I'm amazed that any of our posts ever get seen by anyone. It is just amazing how much stuff is going on. So, there it is. So be consistent. Get out there.
Absolutely.
So as far as, you've been in business how many years now?
This is our 25th year.
25th year in business. Interesting. My company, my technology company, this is our 25th year as well. And
Congrats.
Congrats on that. And because there's obviously ups and downs over 25 years. But when I think about marketing, right, like some of the things that you did 20 years ago, 10 years ago, compared to today with social media and some of the other things, can you tell us a little bit about that? I'm sorry?
Yeah, how's that yellow page ad working for you?
Yeah, it's not working well.
We used to
I got a full page yellow page ad, right? To give it to you.
If not, you're in the back.
That's right.
We used to tell people, here's our business card. You can call us. And now you're waiting for calls and whatnot. Now we just say, go to howtogettherefaster.com and you go right into our calendar. And we'll show you how to get there faster. So it is amazing how the world of how we promote ourselves has changed.
Yeah.
And yet some of the basics are still the same, right? Who's your ideal client? What's the message to attract that client? And then where do you put that message to attract that client? One of those things are the same.
Used to be the yellow pages.
And so you help people with like the search engine optimization and helping them rank.
What search engine? Yeah, we do. We're their hand holders. We show them how, hold their hand, do some of it. It's what a business it's what a business coach is supposed to do. In fact, we looked for business coaches that did what we do and we never found it. So that's what our program's kind of based on. We do a lot of stuff for them and teach them how to do it.
So it's interesting, since you said that you're working with the smaller organizations, then that must mean that you're working with organizations that may be strapped for cash. Like they may not have the largest budgets, right? I mean, how do you work with that organization?
80% of the original Fortune 500 went out of business. So it's not just small businesses that need cash. That's a slide I use all the time. So that's just like right there. So it isn't just small businesses.
It's all we work with. But.
Yeah. Cash flow is always important. If you're thinking of going into business, being undercapitalized will kill you quickly. And it is really important to make friends with your banker and have an advisory board, that's going to show you these are the places you spend cash originally, and these are the things you can put off. You have to have a website now. If you're starting now, and it should be in WordPress, not one of those do-it-yourselfer things. Because every time we've met somebody that said, I'm going to fix it later, they've never fixed it.
Mm.
So hiring professionals that know what they're doing is really important. Having a great accountant is hugely important.
Oh, for sure. Sure. And then you talked about the lack of capital. That I know I saw a stat by the SBA. Two main reasons that business fail: lack of capital, lack of a solid marketing plan.
Yeah.
So
You know,
no,
and it may, if you're not capitalized well, okay, so you put it off a little and you build up your reserves and you get really better at what you're doing. In the meanwhile, you read a lot, you get a whole lot of competitive knowledge, what your competitors are doing in the marketplace. So it's
and
not
how you can do it better.
Yeah, it's not that you're not in business yet, you're getting your education. I went to college for, the best 12 years of my life, and I was learning things all that time. I didn't go into business till I was older. I tried to do the math quickly and it didn't happen there. Thank you, sweetie.
all right. So in addition to having this great marriage, thriving business where you're helping these small business owners, you got 7 best-selling books.
Yeah, we
We
do.
do.
It's kind of
Wow.
cool. In fact, tell you what, if you're listening, if you want any of our books, just tell us you're a fan. Send us an email to info@yuloffcreative.com. Tell us you're a fan of the 30-minute hour. And if you can mention either of the hosts' names, we will send you 2 of our books.
Wow.
If you know Eric's name and Ted's name in the email, there, I just gave you the answer.
You helped them out a bit
We'll
there.
send you one book because you got both of their names. So if you get both of their names right, we'll send you 2 of our books.
That is great. Does that include us? Like if we want
Yes.
the book, like
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think we can do that.
Who
Eric.
hosts the 30-minute hour?
I know Ted.
That's it. And I know Eric, so we're good.
All right. This has been a great episode, I'm telling you. So out of 7 books, man, and that's tremendous accomplishment. If you could only recommend one to help somebody to level up their marketing, which one would you recommend and why?
I have them all here and I'm looking. Tell you what, this one? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. It came out on our 25th wedding anniversary and hit bestseller.
Yeah.
The Marketing Checklist 2, 49 More Simple Ways to Master Your Marketing.
Wow.
So there you go. But honestly, if you send us an email, we'll send you 2 of them.
We have books on marketing, sales, human resources, and social media, and as we said, the partners and everything.
Wow. No,
So
that's great.
You're giving out 49 different ideas in that book.
In that book, yes.
Yeah. Actually, the first one, the Marketing Checklist, is 80 ways to master your marketing. But heck, we'll send you. It doesn't matter. Whichever ones you want. We'll do this.
No, that's great.
So talk about your writing process. Like typically, so you get an idea for a book. Like how long does it typically take you to go from idea to having book in hand?
That has changed over the years.
Yeah.
The first one is I was going to say always. Usually, I suppose there's an exception. Usually the one that takes the longest. And then they just get faster after that.
So we had a coach that kept saying, you need to have a book, you got to have a book, you got to have a book, because you really have to have a book. People want to hire the person who wrote the book on the subject. And I was one of those obstinate, no. And he finally said, look, I'm going to double my rate if you don't write a book. So I'm sitting in front of the computer, literally what you see in the movies, the blank screen and the cursor blinking. And I was trying to think what to write. And I had just been to a networking event and I had this stack of business cards on my desk. I had been doing rubber band marketing. Have you done rubber band marketing before?
Absolutely.
It's where you go to an event and you've got that stack of cards and you're going to follow up, but you put a rubber band around them so you don't forget, and you put them together and then you never call. So I was doing some rubber band marketing. And I remember thinking, a lot of those business cards sucked. So maybe there's a pattern there. How many different business card types are there that suck? And you know how many there are? There are 49 stupid things that people do with business cards, and we told them how to fix them. That was number one. That took the longest because I didn't know when to stop. And then the one that took the shortest amount of time was actually this last one, I think, Partners in Everything. We had got the idea 3 years ago from a gentleman named Dan Janelle, who said, you guys ought to write, you work with so many couples, you ought to write a book about working together. That's a darn good idea. But we had 2 other books to go through in the meanwhile. And then February, I'm in Clubhouse. I'm in a room talking about books. And my subconscious took over. I said, yeah, our next book is about people that work together. It's called Partners in Everything, and it's going to come out on our 30th wedding anniversary this July. My subconscious spewed that out, and I looked in the room, and we had 3 clients in the room, and I realized, oh crap!
Now I got to do it.
Now I've got to do it.
I got to do it.
We worked backwards. How long? Because there's a timeline to put out a book.
How long does the editor need?
Yeah.
And.
So it turned out we had to have it finished writing in about a month plus, which meant we had to get all the interviews done. And then, oh man, when we came out, we were on time. Out of the 7 books, only 2 have hit our goal date, and the 2 that came out on anniversaries.
Wow.
Man,
so
if
y'all want to write a book and you're a little stuck,
give yourself a deadline.
Yeah, or send us an email. We'll send you. We have a report on getting your book done.
Yes.
Send us an email. We'll send that to you.
17 steps to get your book done.
Wow.
17 steps to get your book done. I know that can help a lot of people.
Look, and most important, you got set a deadline. That business card book might never have been done, but our coach said, look, I'm going to put you on stage in front of 250 people to talk about your book, but you have to have a copy of it.
In your
so
hand.
so you best get it done.
Yeah.
And I had that look.
Wow.
So having a deadline helps.
No, it does.
Any marketing tactic, right?
Yeah.
Always start with the end in mind. What's your goal? Always start backwards.
Our HR book took Sharyn best of
way
2
too long,
years to do. So.
Yep. So,
marketing. Marketing is it's a funny thing. Like when you're a small business owner, everyone can kind of tell you how you should market, right? These are things that you should do. Like I had someone say, and I guess I can say this because she's most likely is not listening, and if she is, I won't say her name. But she said to me one time, guys, she said, Ted, how do you hand out your business cards to people that you meet? She handed it to me. So I was like, I did like this. He said, right, like this. Mm-hmm. She said to me, no, you must present it.
Yep. So she was Japanese.
Well, I don't know, but I'm thinking, man, all these years, like that's it. That's all I had to do was this, and I would have gotten those clients.
Look,
a greater percentage anyway.
Yeah, there's this thing called neuro-linguistic programming. How our mind and how we speak to the person we're talking to
their subconscious,
how we relate to them. And you'll know when we pick up a book, we hold it over our heart. We see a lot of people when they talk about their book, you'll notice they do all of this, and you are throwing your book away. And the same with your card. If you hold it in a way that you respect your own card, it sends that message subconsciously to them. Just like when someone gives me their card, I always take a moment to read it. And honestly, one of the things I'm looking for is a mailing address, because we're one of those people that send nice to meet you cards. And I'm looking for the mailing address. And if it isn't there, I ask. And I say, I'm one of those freaks that sends nice to meet you cards. May I have your best mailing address? So you're now getting engaged with their card, and you're showing some respect to them. So make sure you read it.
Interesting. So I'm just curious. So Ted, did you find that when you started handing people the card that way, did you start getting more follow ups or anything?
I still haven't started doing it that way. I've been doing it the same way
Oh
because I
yeah.
was thinking to myself, I was like, I just couldn't see that made a difference. But I mean, just
So,
listen to Sharon and
Ted,
Hank. I'm gonna go ahead and start doing it that way.
Ted,
Do it.
next time you do it, next time you have the chance, do that. And here's the thing: I want you to send us an email and follow up because now you're on our list. We're going to follow up with you and ask you if you've done it.
Have I done
And
it?
I want to know
Okay.
what happened.
No, yeah. I'm gonna see what happens.
And I'll we'll promote it on social media. We'll make a thing out of it.
Okay.
So now you have a reason to do it. And I'll send you a box of brownies.
Oh, well then that's it. Yeah. Are you making the brownies or what?
We use a system a greeting card system. It's an online system that prints and creates the card and puts it in the mail for us.
With a box of brownies.
With a box of brownies.
With a box of brownies. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure you weren't making those brownies, Hank, because I don't know if
Why?
I just don't know, man. I just don't know about your baking skills. I mean, can
Why?
you bake? I just want to know. I mean, can he bake, Sharon?
He is the cook in the family. The deal is
Really?
he cooks, I clean.
Okay. I was just saying, I'm just not going to assume that you can bake, Hank.
Would you? Okay, but I'm not baking them. I'm just ordering them.
Yeah.
And they're really good.
They are amazing. The first time someone sent us those particular brownies, I thought, really, a box of brownies that come in this cardboard box?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my God. They are 431 calories of chocolatey goodness.
And they're kosher for passing.
Oh.
They're awesome.
Oh, nice. You know, it's interesting. People do a lot of different things. I remember one time someone sent me something in the mail to get me to respond to something, and they sent me a $50 bill.
Wow.
Did
it work?
Well, the $50 bill worked. I spent it. Yeah.
I used to one of my favorite things to do as a sales tool, and here y'all can do this if you're watching. I've sent shoes I will go to yard sales and I'll buy the shoes that
the gently worn.
Yeah,
shoes.
they're basically new, and we have a stockpile of them. And I will send a shoe to a prospect and say, we want to get our foot in your door. And
I know people have done that.
And we own a promotional product company. A company that puts logos on stuff. And one of the hardest things to do is get into a radio station in Los Angeles to sell them swag. And it took me 4 shoes, and I finally got the guy's size. He told me later, I was waiting till you got my size right. And the phone message he left was, I got your bleeping shoes. Get your bleeping bleep in here on Thursday. We need to order some. And he told me what they needed to order. Oh, and bring the other bleeping shoe.
Right.
So that's
it worked.
Follow-up tool.
Yeah, I think you have to be different and attention grabbing. The other one I know people have done is that they've mailed socks to people, and it says, "Well, I know you're wondering why I'm sending you socks. My goal is to knock your socks off my service." Blah blah blah.
I love that. And you know what, Eric? I'm actually taking notes, and I will give you credit the first time I use that.
And you can even get branded socks.
Yes, I will be getting from Yuloff Creative branded socks, and I will be doing that. So you'll get credit the first time we talk about it.
There you go.
First time is you give credit. Second time is plagiarism.
Right. Oh man, excellent. So you're the host of the Marketing Checklist.
Yes.
You've done 243 or so episodes.
Yeah, now we're over 300 now.
Over 300.
We did 243 in a row.
Go.
And then we took a break in November of 19, and we thought we'll come back first quarter of 20 because it's a drag. And then COVID hit, and our clients all needed to have their marketing programs pivoted. So we said, all right, one of the things you're all going to do is you're all going to get on more podcasts because people are at home. They're starting to listen to more podcasts. And we have got all of these. How do we do that?
We got a lot of deer in headlights. You want me to do what now?
How do I get on a podcast? Okay, here it is. So we switched our podcast to all interview all the time. So now the Marketing Checklist Viewcast is a 7-minute, 21-second interview because our anniversary is July 21st. We said, look, you get 7 minutes, 21 seconds. We're going to send you all the same questions. You're going to answer them and send them back to us. Keeping in mind, to get on a podcast, you have to fit the host's world. Like if we came on and said we were going to just start talking about, I don't know, how to be religious in 27 steps, we probably aren't going to get on the 30-minute hour, right? So maybe next time. But, so we said, look, answer the questions and understand you've got to get them back to us. They have to fit in the 7-minute, 21-second. And what we were teaching our clients was how to get on podcasts and how to, to tell your message quickly enough. So now we put it out to anyone that's watching. Go to theviewcast.com. It's going to tell you, it'll tell you just how to get on our podcast. And if you've never been on a podcast, you make ours your first. You're going to have a darn fun time.
And it's easy.
And it's easy. You send us the answers, we schedule it, and you come on. And it's not new. Most podcasters, here's a hint. They give you the questions they're going to ask you in advance. Eric and Ted are pretty smart. They let us know where we were going, what we were going in the interview. We do the same thing. So now, do you guys want to come on the Viewcast?
We sent them the question.
Sure.
Look, for
Absolutely.
you guys, you don't
Love
get
to.
21, you get 1442 because there's two of you.
Sure. Love
And
to do it. Thank you.
That's what it's all about. Come on, we have fun with it. And the idea is you then take the podcast that you're on, and that becomes social media content. Not once, but twice. If y'all think that we're only going to promote being on 30-minute hour once, y'all are crazy. We'll promote this over and over and over again. It'll go onto our website. Link will go on our website. There are ways that you folks, as small business owners, there are such easy and fun ways to build your business and market it, and podcasts are one. And we'll help. Come on, go to theviewcast.com and come on ours.
No,
And
definitely.
you'll probably see Eric and Ted there really soon.
Absolutely.
We're in. Thank you for the invitation. We're there.
Heck
Looking
yeah.
forward to it.
And I'm glad, I'm glad that you all, I'm glad that you, I appreciate the invitation, because a lot of times what tends to happen is, sometimes, my partner here sometimes ends up on podcasts that, that I don't get invited to. So I appreciate the fact.
How does that make you feel, Ted?
I mean, seriously, I feel some kind of way about it, Hank.
I understand, brother.
I feel some kind of way about it. So I'm glad that that you have empathy in this. That you just took a moment to say, yeah.
You have my promise.
Yeah.
He will not show up on our podcast without you.
There you go. Thank you. Thank
you
you.
have my word as
Thank
a
you.
Red Sox fan, as a Boy Scout who never hit eagle.
No, thank you. I look forward to
brownies
it.
Eric sends us and begs us.
Right.
We will not record our podcast without you.
If he's like Ted is busy, I tried. Ted couldn't get him.
I will not buy that.
Don't buy
We
that.
will not get. Sharon won't buy that.
Ted's in a meeting. Ted's tied
right.
up. That's not gonna work.
Everyone's scheduling it. Not happening.
Thank you.
And if
I
we come to
appreciate
that time, and he
not
just
there?
shows up, we'll reschedule.
That's it.
And I
Thank
will
you.
call you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get you my number.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
in case. No, that's great. Look
I
forward to it.
understand.
You feel better now, Ted, now that you got
I
that
do.
off your chest.
I do, because we'll have guests that come on, guys, and sometimes they're like, "Oh yeah," just like when Eric was on our show before. What?
What?
Like, Eric, I thought you just met these folks. Oh yeah. But I was on the show just last Thursday. I was on the show. It's a great show, great time. Really? So no.
Let me
Thank
tell
you.
you.
Thank you for that.
During those interviews, they're like, man, who is this Ted Fells guy you keep talking about all the time? Like,
Look,
we feel like we know him already.
We show up everywhere together. So if one of us shows up and the other one doesn't, it's always, where's Sharyn? Where's Sharyn? She's busy.
Oh, the other way around.
Got something to do. She couldn't make.
Chopped liver? Yeah, I can't go anywhere without her. I go to some chamber meeting. I go to my networking meeting. It's like, where's Sharyn? Now, look, I did marry up. I get that. Of the two of us, I'd rather be married to her than me. So, but I understand, Ted. I feel you.
All right. No, looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right.
You just let me know if I need to resend those questions to you. I can send them
Did
like
you get the questions,
way
Ted?
back when. I can resend them.
Ted, did you get them?
Oh, you already sent questions?
Oh, yeah. Did you get them?
Forever ago.
I don't think you got them. Look at them.
See.
I'm seeing that.
So there were some questions that were sent out to us. See? What questions there?
Ted, what is your email address?
You can send it to tedfells@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'll resend them.
Thank you.
Before our head hits the pillow tonight, Sharyn will have sent them.
No, that's great. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
We will not go to bed tonight without those questions being in your email box.
Man, thank you. I appreciate it.
You've helped Ted.
I mean, you have.
So, anything else before we move on, Ted?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm getting brownies. I'm getting questions. I'm be on the show. I'm getting a coffee mug. I'm getting everything, man. I'm getting one shoe. I'm getting everything.
Oh, by the way, what's my shoe you wear?
That a co-host 10.5. I'm getting everything that a co-host you should be able to get out of this. So I'm all in. This is great.
Oh boy.
I think we might save their marriage. I don't know.
All right, we are at the closing part of the show where we go around the horn. And during the round the horn time, we leave that closing thought that we want people to remember about this episode that can help them to become unstoppable. So Hank and Sharyn, you shared so many great things. What is your final closing thought that you'd like to leave the people with?
Yeah, tell you what, we'll have two thoughts. One, we're going to give you a website. You go to if you want to come to our boot camp, we'll put your marketing plan together, and the dates are always at planyourmarketing.com. So if you're a fan of the 30-minute hour, then you get a free ticket. The other thing would be our slogan, and that's if everything happens for a reason.
Be the reason things happen.
Nice.
Would you like that on a shirt, Ted? What size
Absolute.
What size t-shirt do you wear, Ted?
Extra large.
Okay. How about you, Eric?
I'm an XL. That's
okay. So
that's cool.
We will send you both our motto t-shirts.
Man, we got to have Sharyn and Hank on the show more often. I mean, you get brownies, you get a shirt.
In fact, tell you what, which book would you like, Ted?
Man, you said it was so many good ones. I guess the one that has the marketing checklist one that you mentioned.
Okay, we'll send you that too.
Wow.
How about you, Eric?
Same thing, marketing checklist.
In fact, tell you what, we're going to send you one of you the marketing checklist and one of you the marketing checklist too, and then you can share, because we're trying to promote sharing amongst the partnership.
Share the books, Eric. We're going to share the books.
Exactly.
That's great.
So there,
man,
another relationship saved.
Thank you so much, because it was getting real iffy. I'm just letting you guys know. If he came on here one more time, someone else that said one more time, it was like, hey, when Eric was on the show, I was gonna be like, that's how it was gonna go down. I was gonna be out. I wasn't gonna say anything, Sharyn. I was just going. That was it. So no, this has been great.
just gonna get the test pattern.
This has been great. This has been great.
So Ted, do you actually have something for Around the Horn, or was that it?
It's tough. This is a tough act to follow. This has just been a great show. It's just kind of going back to consistency, right? Like that. I mean, I think that's like the main thing. Like I think you just have to continue. Like you have to continue to go at it, and then but along with that consistency, I guess you're going to try some different things.
Uh-huh.
But it's always good to be able to talk to some experts like Sharyn and Hank. They can tell you some proven techniques, as well. But yeah. Well, one question I wanted to ask, and I don't know if we talked about this. For those individuals that that say they're like introverts, right? I go to a networking event and I'm just kind of there, right? I don't feel comfortable going up and having conversations, and what do you have to say to that individual that is that proclaimed self-proclaimed introvert?
I feel you. I am you. I have a few tricks. So one is, because I am married to Hank, I get to channel my inner Hank. What would Hank do in this scenario? So if you have a Hank, I mean, maybe it's not Hank, but someone that you see as an extrovert that's really good at that networking, try to channel them. What would they do in that situation? That's one thing. The other thing I do is, there are often other introverts in the room, and you will often find them hanging around the edges, kind of wherever you would want to go hang out.
Sure.
So go hang out there. Go be with them. Hey, I see that you're standing here on your own. That's kind of I would like to do that too, but I know that we're in this networking scenario. So tell me a bit about you, and I'll do the same. And it'll get us warmed up to go meet other strangers we haven't met yet.
And if you're going to be introverted, and you want to do that, hang out near the drinks, like near the soft drinks, not the alcohol. Do not drink at networking meetings. No. You don't want to be that person. Seriously, we've all seen that person that had a little too much. So you hang out by the soft drinks or the food and say, hey, the crackers are really good, huh? And give you something to talk about, anything to talk about. Or, I'll look at a guy's tie. Damn, that's a good tie, man. Hey, you want to trade? Just something to have a conversation.
The other good thing to do is to go to the host, or if it's a chamber, then ambassadors, and say, and you just cop to it. Hey, I'm new and I'm kind of shy. This is kind of who my ideal client is. Who do you think I should meet here? And you know what? They will take you around and they will introduce you, and you don't really have to do anything except follow them.
Yeah. Have you met Ted?
Yes.
Yeah.
And as the extrovert, and that if you're an extrovert that's watching and don't get anything that Sharyn just said, I feel you. I am you. I look for the introverts. Hey, welcome to. Well, I see you're new because I know people here. How can I help you meet somebody here? And I will take it upon myself to introduce them around.
And the introverts are so grateful. Please.
Let's say that I introduced Sharyn and Eric. And Eric, hey, Sharon's new. She's right here, and she does this and this and this. Now, I leave them alone, and I go talk to you because, Ted, we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
What are they going to talk? What do they have in common? The only thing they have in common is me. So the first thing they're going to talk about is that guy that just introduced them.
Right.
And if Eric's been around, he'll probably say something edifying because he's just that kind of guy. And then I will go find you. We'll have a chat, and I'll go back and find Sharyn, and I'll rescue her from wherever she is and bring her and meet somebody else. So this is how you can be an extrovert or an introvert at an event.
And if you're going to do that, please remember that. Go back and get them.
Yes.
Because we introverts tend to then get stuck with whoever that person is, and they may not want to be stuck with us, but we're just too nervous to go to the next person.
Yeah. So I'll walk back and I'll walk back and say, all right, Eric, you've had her enough. I'm going to go introduce her to somebody else.
And that's another thing that's kind of tough, though, is when you meet someone and they're kind of talking to you and it's going and going, and then
Yeah.
how do you make that
Oh,
separation,
Introduce
right?
them
Like,
around.
Yeah.
Hey,
You
I
see-
just saw John. You should meet John. Here, let me just take
and then you
Oh,
drop
yeah.
them on John then.
Yeah. Well, but because there's always that, and I'll say it's the insurance guy. It's always the brand new insurance agent who was taught by his boss. You got to give out 10,000 cards in your first month, and it's like, oh, someone to meet, and they just they're not leaving Eric until Eric buys or dies. You gotta save them.
No, that's
Was that
interesting.
helpful?
No, it's very helpful. It's interesting. I know some people, right? I'll put it that way. I'll go to a networking event, and this one individual will just come up, and I could be having a conversation with Eric, and this person will come up to me and be like, "Oh, you're talking to Ted? Ted's the man. Ted's the man. You need to meet Ted. Ted's the man." Like, no matter where, like I could be talking, Hank, you're talking to Ted?
Uh-huh.
Ted's the man. Let me tell you everything about. I'll be like, oh no. So like I kind of stay clear of that because it's kind of like it just makes the situation kind of awkward, right? So just trying to deal with awkward situations sometimes in networking, and if I was that, maybe an introvert in that could totally cause me to, to shut down. I usually just shake it off and try to avoid the guy whenever I see him someplace.
Knowing the room helps. There's a couple of chambers that we're members of that I can absolutely own the room that way, and there are others that I won't. There's one chamber I was on the board for 20 something years. It's kind of like it might as well just be my home office.
One tip that I have, and I think I've shared this with Eric before, is that just work on small talk. Like whenever, like if you're in an elevator, if you're at a restaurant and you have someone that's just waiting on your table, just try to connect with them. Like, oh, hey, what's your name? Oh, okay, I'm Susan. Okay, hey, Susan, thank you. Great to meet you. Like working on that constantly so that when you go to a networking event, it's not an issue for you to have small talk, right? Because I think sometimes people think that they have to meet someone and then just press play and just give their story. But really, I always think that you just want to connect with someone. Like you said, how you doing? That's a great tie.
Be
whatever.
interested more than you're trying to be interesting.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
There's a formula, and I know we're starting to run late. Can I share one more thing, or are you at wrap up time?
No, go ahead.
There's a word I learned a long time ago, and I learned this when I was in the Amway business. I joined the Amway business because I wanted to date my sponsor, so I had a very successful Amway business.
Not me.
Guy's name was Jim Floor. He worked for the gas company in Sacramento, California. And he said there's in any networking situation, if you can remember one word, it will help you all the time. And the word is form. And it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and message. Now, you can just ask people questions. Family, occupation, what do you do when you're not doing what you do? Oh, really? I love playing badminton too. Find out the things that you have in common, and you're asking questions. And then if appropriate, you can bring up the message. That's really cool. I didn't know you saw, that Medicare insurance was that important. You ought to call me later about that. So you're just being interested, and if you're finding out that small talk, family, occupation, recreation, then you can
family, occupation, recreation.
And
That's
then when
good.
they ask you what you do, then you can present them your business cards.
There you go. And it's a done deal. You're good.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
so this kind of leads to my around the horn piece, and it really has to do with everybody's favorite topic, right? So if you feel like you're an introverted person, because I'm glad you brought that up, because sometimes I talk to people and say, well, yeah, I'd love to do all that, but I just don't have the personality for it. I'm not an outgoing person. So everybody has the same favorite subject. It's themselves. I mean,
mine is Sharyn. My favorite topic is Sharyn, followed by the Boston Red Sox. I'm somewhere past that.
And you can't go wrong if you're at a networking event and you're asking them about themselves.
Yep.
So Tell me about your business. What do you do? Oh yeah, tell me about that. Wow, that's how.
How did you get into that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of my favorite questions is, I would bet if I asked 6-year-old Eric what he was going to do when he grew up, running a podcast was not the answer I was going to get. So how did we get from 6-year-old Eric to this?
Right.
To handsome grown-up Eric.
But that's the key.
Yeah.
You know, and then the funny thing, when you allow somebody to talk about themselves, they start liking you.
Yep.
And they want to do business with you.
Yeah. No.
You know, sometimes we overcomplicate things. I just think that's a key to succeeding in that environment.
Wow. You know, Eric, I was wondering if Hank and Sharyn would consider coming back at some point, and maybe we can do like a Q&A.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
I would love to.
I don't know, man.
You want to repeat this fun? Can we have this much fun double the time?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we'd have a lot of fun. I think, a lot of our viewers would love to just come in, ask some questions, just kind of tap into your, some of the experience and, wisdom, because I've learned a lot today. I think it could really be helpful. We could definitely put something.
It'd be fun.
No, that's great. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
As long as if every now and then if the answer is it depends. Look, most of our questions the answers start with it depends, because I need more information. And there might be a question where we have to go look up an answer and get back to them. But as long as we can do that, then I'm good.
No, that would be great.
Yeah, we definitely need to schedule that. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions people have about marketing and how do you stand out, and I think we addressed a lot of them today, but I think there's other questions. I think that'll be good.
Heck, they can send you the questions in advance if you like.
Yep. Absolutely. All right.
We have one listener that sent in questions almost every week. Her name was Seal Goldstein out of Miami Beach, Florida.
Wow. Okay.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, this has been a fantastic episode of the 30-Minute Hour podcast. We told you that this is not your everyday podcast.
This is not your everyday guest. They were amazing. Amazing team. Yes, great.
I mean, 7 best-selling books, all kinds of great things going on. And so for those of you watching us and listening to us, don't forget to share the show.
Yeah.
Share the show.
We know we will.
Share the TED. Share the Eric.
That's it. Share it.
Don't keep us a secret. Hopefully we helped you to laugh, learn, and level up this evening on the 30-Minute Hour podcast. So before we sign off, Hank and Sharyn, how can people connect with you? I know you've thrown out website links throughout the show, but how can people connect with you?
Really, the best way is howtogetttherefaster.com. You'll be asked a few easy questions, and then you'll get a link to our calendar. You can just choose the time that works best for you.
Yeah. The first questions people always ask us are, what do I do first, and how do I get there faster? So howtogettherefaster.com.
How to get there faster.
How to get there faster.
Howtogettherefaster.com.
It's great.
There is a fun story that goes with that. We'll share that next time.
Okay. Howtogettherefaster.com. Well, that is our show for this evening. Don't forget to check us out on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or anywhere else you like to get your podcasts. Until next time, have a great one.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.